Saigon. Shit. I'm still only in Saigon. Every time I think I'm gonna wake up back in the jungle. When I was home after my first tour, it was worse. I'd wake up and there'd be nothing. I hardly said a word to my wife until I said yes to a divorce. When I was here, I wanted to be there. When I was there, all I could think of was getting back into the jungle. I'm here a week now, waiting for a mission. Getting softer. Every minute I stay in this room, I get weaker. And every minute Charlie squats in the bush, he gets stronger.
Sorry for the clickbait title, boys. Well, half clickbait. Today was more so one of those heavier psychological loss days. I am disappointed in my performance today. However, I want to cover what happened on the trading day, my thought process going into it, and why I am disappointed. Price action was great today. Had a great read on price action. There was nothing wrong with that. It was the fact that I missed my trade entry on the day. But we'll recap everything, how that ended up happening, how I failed to react to price action. First and foremost, let's go to my pre-market analysis, because I had a very, very clear bias coming into the trading day. I was bullish, looking to see the overall higher time frame power of 3 play out, which is exactly what happened. However, didn't end up catching a move. Did not end up catching a move, and I was sitting in the shower butt-ass naked. Not like I would be sitting in the shower with clothes on. Contemplating on banging my head against the shower wall. Anyways, let's go into today's price action. We were trading within this new day opening gap, new week opening gap from yesterday. Made a retracement for that during Asia session. Was forming a clear AMD power 3, AMDX power 3, whatever. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution right there. Coolio. And we also had it. This was such a good trading day. Like, this analysis was so easy. Daily cycle sequential SMT at the lows, previous day low. Holy moly, who would have thought? Was clearly forming an open low high close on the daily candle. Pretty freaking obvious we were looking to target Asia accumulation. Or previous day high. This is how the 15-minute time frame looked. Now let's scale down in time frame and go to the 1 minute. Onto the charts. Market open. This was pretty frustrating what ended up happening. However, we had immediate displacement to the upside market open, and that was where I was like, okay, well, now what? Now, I do want to note pre-market, we still had an SMT down at these lows. I wasn't anticipating price to displace 100 points off rate market open. However, I was potentially anticipating that, hey, maybe we could get an entry, set a limit at this order block, look for a retracement back into it before continuing higher. However, market just continued to rip. However, market open, we ripped 100 points to the upside. A little more than 100 points. Not that it matters. Ended up ripping to the upside market open, so that's when I was like, okay. I guess, bro. When I was like, okay, well, now what? Well, I was looking for then a retracement into any higher time frame PD rate to look to continue to long toward at least the CE or this higher time frame rejection block right here, because we had already taken out Asia accumulation market open. I was like, okay, bro. What ended up happening? We formed a SMT at the highs with YM. And I know the live recordings are pretty quick, so it's not like you guys are analyzing them. That's if you guys even watch them. However, I did end up marking out this rejection block. If you're paying attention, or at least tiny bit of attention, you would have seen I was potentially looking to go short here, measuring out the risk reward and all that. Seeing this 5-minute rejection block end up forming with that SMT. Was looking to see to hold valid in order for a retracement. We ended up getting that. I did not execute upon short here. This was a clear lower time frame AMD, but this is where I really want to recap. After this displacement to the downside, I want you guys to take into account that we are looking at everything in hindsight now. At one point, this entire candle had a huge wick and looked as if we were going to reverse lower. That was when I shorted. My bias and order flow switched. I was like, hey, okay, well, it looks like we swept out Asia highs. Are not trying to continue this higher time frame power of 3 right now. We could potentially look to take out these lows before forming any SMT or reversal confluence lower before then continuing higher. So I was like, you know what, let me short toward at least these relative equal lows down here, even though we have that higher time frame daily cycle sequential SMT. Oh, I don't know why I did that. We made the retracement for the 5-minute PD array, higher time frame 5-minute PD array. I was like, okay, cool. If we could see a change of state delivery to the downside, we will look to execute from there. That's exactly what we ended up seeing, executed on the BPR. Yeah. Don't know why I ended up doing that. I'm joking. I just explained fully why I ended up doing that. Executed on the BPR, had my stop above the high. Was like, okay, well, if we do end up continuing higher, what's most likely to happen? I was like, okay, well, looks like we could have potential only if we continue to displace higher to continue to validate the higher time frame daily cycle sequential SMT going into the fourth quarter. I want you guys to take into account that this was a trade execution going from microcycle Q3 to Q4 to overall 90-minute session cycle Q4. So why is that important to note? Because upon my trade execution getting stopped out, that was confluence of us continuing that overall higher time frame AMDX. This is pissing me off. I'm gonna lean back in my chair like this. To be honest, I don't even need to look at the chart for this. But going from Q4 microcycle to overall 90-minute session Q4, that is when I was looking to see price continue to the upside. Honestly, oh my gosh, man. We ended up forming a perfect lower time frame. Lower. Okay, sorry, I'm losing my mind now. We ended up forming a lower time frame power of 3 on the 15-second. You could see that right there. Bang. Free toes for you guys. That's where the X was. If you guys were paying attention to the recording, then you guys would have seen I was looking to get an entry upon that. Ended up forming a rejection block on the lower time frame, displaced to the upside, formed a change in state of delivery. And that is when we ended up missing our trade entry. Why? Because we set our limit order at the entry of the rejection block. However, price ended up forming a 1-minute bullish fair value gap. And I failed to react to price action. Man. Yeah. I failed to react to price action and ended up missing my entire long to the upside. This would have been 4.6R. My entry on the rejection block would have been 7. The reason why I was looking to execute on the rejection block was because I wanted a higher RR. I'm not going to sit and lie to you guys. I wanted a higher risk reward. I was like, yo, my initial target was just this high right here. I was like, 1 to 3.2. I'm not really satisfied with that. Even though that would have been great profits on the trading day, I was like, you know what? I want to target, or I want a better risk reward, so let me try to get the best entry I can. Price provided almost basically 2 opportunities to execute. This first entry right here at the CE of this 1-minute fair value gap Could have even executed market order right here on the second candle right before we continue to displace higher. Ended up missing that move entirely. Now, you would think I'm done on the trading day. But no. I was like, you know what? Took one loss, missed my trade of the day, my long of the day I was looking to see play out. However, going into Q4, I was like, okay, well, we can expect price to deliver to our objective. But I wanted to see price rebalance on the higher time frames before looking to do so. So what ended up happening as we continued to displace toward the upside, we had this 5-minute rejection block, which was already mitigated by the way, but we retraced back into it, aligned standard deviation, and also had a higher time frame sequential S&T. Granted, I knew that this trade would not be a huge reversal. I was just looking to see price rebalance due to us having had no retracement here on the higher time frame, the 5-minute or the 15-minute higher time frame, medium time frame, sorry. So this was our final trade execution of the day. We ended up top ticking price, executed at the CE of the rejection block right here. Had an 8-point stop. Price was actually looking good for a moment. You know, we were trading outside of this rejection block, looking to potentially validate it. Was looking to see at least these lows taken. That did not end up happening. Price displaced a bit. I was like, okay, well, let me scale in an additional contract because I went lighter risk on this due to it having been such an aggressive entry. Trailed my SL above this high. Trade position looked something like that with almost normal risk. Price ended up reversing, stopping us out and continuing higher as expected. If I would have been in my long, obviously I wouldn't have looked to take this short. I was honestly just looking to catch any reversal I could on the trading day, and that is why I'm disappointed with my performance today. Not the fact that I took this trade or the loss. Like, the losses don't faze me. I'm not upset about the losses. I'm upset at the fact that I failed to react to price action and I ended up missing my trade of the day. You know, I had a clear bias, said exactly what I wanted to see going into market open, and didn't end up catching that move. You know, I'm not upset at the fact that I got, quote, faked out upon this shift in order flow down here. That doesn't faze me. It's really just the fact that I missed this entry. Price aligning with time. I go into it every single day. Nothing is new. You guys know what I'm going to say. Yeah. Now, am I disappointed right now? Yeah, I'll get over it. You know, I'm just when you have a clear read on price action and you fail to catch that move that you knew would happen, all because you failed to react, it's kind of like, bruh. That's how I feel. I never feel like upset about losses, but I do feel like, bruh. Like, seriously, bro. Like, this was the easiest green day ever. Now, granted, green days are, I guess, normal to me now. It's not something that is abstract to me, you know. It's just the fact that could have had another green day under the belt, like, bro. Anyways, yeah. That's today's trade recap. S-tier read on price action. Missed trade execution. Ended up with 2 losses on the trading day. Happens. Gonna continue to execute. Nothing changes from here. Just wanted to be upfront and honest with you guys about my personal performance today, but not only that, but my psychological performance as well. I am going to go eat 2 bowls of Cheerios and edit this trade recap. Anyways, I love you guys, and I will see you in the next. Okay, that lighting is a little bit better. See you guys in the next trade recap. Peace and have a nice day.